Let's welcome to PUP News. Today, we discuss sociology. Why should we study sociology? We should study it because you're able to take a fresh look at the social environment and re-examine our place in society along with groups and cultures which we seldom or never have contact with, or about which we previously knew little or nothing. We may understand the social forces that influence our society and those around us, our behavior. It gives the person a chance to explain themselves. They're more willing to makes you more willing to look at people for who they are instead of putting them into categories. It allows you to become an active member of society. Society is changing, and we need to make adaptations. History and biography. History is society's story. Biography is your story. Problem versus issue. A problem is within the individual and immediate relations. An issue matters that go through the local environments about an individual and relations of others and the range of his inner life. A problem is, for instance, a lack of funds, and an issue is large unemployment. Sociology and other sciences. Social psychology, macro processes, individual believing in a god. Psychology, microprocesses, an individual's behavior. Sociology, looking at as many similar cases and extract from them what is in common. Sociology as a science, verifiable evidence, has to deal with issues that anyone can study. Concrete and factual information is a must. Anyone can go and check for accuracy. And in sociology as a science, professionalism is that you can't make a conclusion for fields you're not trained in. There are various study methods, but they must use standardized and accurate and correct procedures. Objectivity in sociology can't make is that you can't make assumptions for people. You can't make up your own version. You have to report exactly what the people said, and if not, bias will occur. Ethnical neutrality is in sociology, and it means that you need to put your own values to the side. Rejection of absolutes. Any conclusion that leads to scientific truth is not the absolute truth. It will remain a truth until challenged. For example, eggs are bad, now they're good. Scientific methods steps, as I'm sure you know, is a formulation of hypothesis, research design, collection of data, analysis of data, and conclusion. That is how sociology does, not unlike science. And finally, publish your findings. There are now going on to something else, there are three types of suicide. There's egoistic, as defined by Emile Durkheim. It's highly individualistic. It's a result of a lack of attachment to any group. It's a lack of social integration. You're more likely to have it that the bachelor is more likely to kill themselves than a married man. A divorced male is more likely to kill themselves than a divorced female. Religions that are highly individualistic have higher suicide rates. An altruistic suicide is part of self-denial. It's part of excessive attachment. There's too much integration. Cult suicide bombers and kamikaze pilots are good examples of this. The mantra they often go by is, I'm going to do everything I can to keep the group alive. Now, suicide anomic is a set of disorganization. There's a set of normlessness. It's caused by social disruption. It coincided with major problems in society. The integration of the group's efforts, for example, in the Great Depression and the Vietnam War. They're not able to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And there's too little regulation of their lives. Fatalistic suicide is the opposite of anomic. There's too much regulation. There's too much forced integration. Concentration camps and jail meals are examples of that. Now, there are other ways in which to examine things like this. For instance, through case studies, where the reliability of these studies are high. There's great internal validity, but limited external validity. Examples of this are group of child molesters, social organizations, and social movements. A cross-sectional study compares situations among different groups at the same point in time. Examples of this include married couples and the factors that influence them staying together or divorcing. There were also longitudinal studies, which is an investigation of one subject or group over a long period of time. The case studies examples are following couples for an extended period of time. There's also ex post facto and retrospective studies, which is researching a situation that occurred at an earlier point in time. An example of this would be asking sexually active teenagers whether or not they used birth control the first time. Prospective studies begin with the present and goes into the future or for a certain period of time. It's very costly. Prospective studies, for instance, would be additives that may or may not have led to becoming sexually active. There are various ethnic considerations, for instance, in that suicide study that I read, to take into consideration when doing research. You must be able to tell what the study is. You must be told what the study is exactly about. You must be told about the risk and benefit involved. Confidentiality must be kept if given, and there is voluntary participation. And finally, we end on the key tenet of sociology, and it's more linked to suicide. I think I have my notes in the wrong order. And that is, what is socialization? It's the process through which a human being learns the way of life of his or her society and learns to function as both an individual and as a member of the group. This must be learned. The process of learning is called socialization, the process through which a human being acquires a sense of self. No self means that there's no social limitation. We must develop through socialization, we must develop a capacity to view ourselves as a unique individual. And if that fails, society is in trouble, leading to the suicide. I think that's how the notes work. Alright, that's it. Thank you. This has been PU Peanut.